In 1971, a computer engineer sat in a lab and sent a message from one machine to another. The two computers were sitting right next to each other in the same room. He typed something short, hit send, and it traveled out across an early experimental network and arrived on the second machine. Here's the strange part. When people later asked him what that first message said, he couldn't remember. Something forgettable, he guessed, probably just the top row of the keyboard, a test. He didn't think it was historic. To him, it was a small experiment, one of many barely worth writing down. That engineer was Ray Tomlinson, and that forgettable little test was the first email ever sent. He had no idea that he had just lit the fuse on something that would, half a century later, sit at the very center of nearly every life on the planet, and quietly become one of the most effective tracking tools ever made. He wasn't trying to change the world. He was just tinkering, solving a small problem on an obscure government research network that almost no one outside a handful of labs had even heard of. The most consequential things are often born exactly like this. By accident, unremarked, in a room where nobody present realizes what they've just done. This is how a throwaway message in 1971 ended up watching all of us. Tomlinson's real stroke of genius wasn't just moving a message between machines. It was solving a problem nobody else had bothered with. How do you address a message to a specific person on a specific, different computer? He needed a way to separate the name of the user from the name of the machine they were on. He looked down at his keyboard for a character that would never appear in someone's name, something with no other job, and his eye landed on a little used symbol sitting above the number 2. The @ sign. The @ it was perfect. User, then the machine. This person at that place. It was so simple and so correct that it never changed. More than 50 years later, every single email address on Earth still follows that exact pattern he improvised in an afternoon. And that little symbol did something subtle and enormous. It gave every person a portable, unique, machine-readable name, not tied to one computer, tied to you. That idea, a unique address that means you, wherever you go, is the seed of everything that came next. Now fast forward to today, and look at what that address actually became. Your email is not just a place where messages land. It is the master key to your entire digital existence. Think about it. To create almost any account anywhere, you need an email. To log in, you use it. And when you forget your password, to your bank, your photos, your social media, your whole life, what fixes it? A reset link sent to your email. That means whoever controls your inbox can, step by step, take control of nearly everything else you own online. The email is the skeleton key. Every other lock ultimately bends to it. We built our entire system of digital identity on top of a 1971 experiment that was never, ever designed to carry that weight. So one address now sits underneath your money, your memories, your relationships, and your reputation. And because it ties all of those accounts together, it does something else, something quieter. It links them. It makes them one trail, yours. And over time, the industry made that key even more powerful in the name of convenience. You've seen the buttons. Sign in with your email account. One tap, and you're into a new app or website without making a fresh password. Feels effortless. But look at what's really happening. You are using that one identity to vouch for you everywhere. Each time you do it, another service gets wired to the same central account. And that central account quietly learns one more place you go, one more thing you use. The same logic runs through security. When an app wants to confirm it's really you, where does the code get sent? Often your email. Two-factor codes, login alerts. Was this you? Messages. They funnel back to the inbox. The address that began as a way to send a note has become the trusted referee for your entire online identity. The thing every other system turns to and asks, is this person who they say they are? It's genuinely convenient. It's also a single point of failure of staggering proportions. We took a 1971 experiment and quietly made it the master credential for a person's entire digital existence, and then handed copies of that credential's reach to hundreds of companies. And this is where the humble email turns into something most people never notice: a sensor. Open a typical marketing email and you may trigger something invisible the instant it loads: a tracking pixel. It's a tiny, single-pixel image, often transparent, hidden in the message. When your app fetches that image to display it, the sender's server learns that you opened the email roughly when, roughly where, and on what device. A letter that quietly reports back the moment you read it. Then there's the metadata, the information around your messages, not inside them. Who you talk to, how often, at what hours, from where. You can keep the contents of every message private, and still, from the pattern alone, someone can map your entire life. Your contacts, your routines, your relationships, the rhythm of your days. Intelligence agencies have long understood a chilling truth: you often don't need to read the letter. The envelope tells you almost everything. And for years, the contents weren't always private either. It became normal for free email services to have their systems scan the words inside your messages, to target ads, to train features to improve the product. Your private correspondence, read by machines mined for signals about what you might buy. Most people clicked agree and never knew it was happening. The mailbox didn't just report when you opened a letter. For a long time, something was reading over your shoulder as you wrote them. There's also the simple fact of permanence. Paper letter could be burned. Your email lives on a server you don't control, copied and backed up across machines, where it can be requested by governments, exposed in a data breach, or simply sit there for decades. Every message you've ever sent is potentially still out there, and so is everything it reveals about who you were at the time. The thing that started as a way to send a friendly note became a continuous, low-level stream of signals about where you are, what you open, and who matters to you. Put it all together and you start to see the shape of it. A single identifier ties every account you have into one connected web. An always-on channel quietly reports when and where you read. And a permanent archive, because almost no one deletes their email, sits on a server somewhere holding years, sometimes decades, of your life in searchable form. Receipts, tickets, conversations, confessions, the digital sediment of everything you've ever signed up for. None of this was the plan. There was no plan. That's the unsettling part. Nobody sat down in 1971 and decided to build a tool to track humanity. They built something useful, it spread because it was useful, and surveillance grew on top of it like rust. Slowly, invisibly, one convenient feature at a time, until the most ordinary tool you own became one of the most revealing. That's the real pattern of the machine age, and the Turk and the camera taught us the same thing. The most powerful tools watching us were almost never built to watch. They were built to help. The watching came later, quietly, riding on the convenience. So tonight, look at your inbox a little differently, at how long that archive really goes back and how many doors that one address unlocks. Tell me in the comments, how old is the oldest email you still have? And if this changed how you see that little symbol, the file on the secret history of facial recognition is waiting for you on screen right now.